In today's live, I want to talk about why intuition is your edge and it's your superpower that any woman who is looking to scale to six plus, seven figures and beyond. Women who are here to hit goals that are honestly not really about the money. Of course, yes, money is great, but at the end of the day, you realize that your business is the vehicle through which you're going to impact hundreds of people, thousands of people. Dare I say, your business and who you're going to serve is millions of people. And how you want to do that is you want to be able to tap into intuition as your edge, intuition as your superpower. Now, here's the thing. I tend to work with a lot of women who are type A, logic, strategy driven, because that's how I was. I used to let logic and strategy and give me the 90-day blueprint, tell me what to do. I could look it up in a book. I could ask a business mentor what makes sense. What should I do next in my business? Now, here's where that got me. In 2023, I was leading a successful business. I was speaking all over the place in Southeast Minnesota, Western Wisconsin. I was doing workshops. I was doing what I thought I was supposed to do, what made sense. I was using skills that I had developed over an 8-year healthcare career, and I was taking the business moves that made sense to make money, which is great. However, I realized, did I really enjoy what I was doing? Was I doing and was my business a vehicle that was really not only going to make significant impact, but did it feel soul-led? And it didn't. It felt very okay, well, this makes sense and this is the next logical step. And as someone who is a fellow type A driven person, it is hard to begin to not rely on logic and strategy. And I'm not like an intuition coach where I'm going to say you need to abandon logic and strategy altogether. Absolutely, there's a way to marry both of these in your business. However, I will say that ever since I put my higher self in the driver's seat, ever since I lead with my intuition, my business has not only become something that I deeply enjoy. Every day that I wake up, I'm like, what can I do for my business to help more people, to support more people? And it truly feels soul-led. Decisions don't take me a ton of time to make. I don't have to wait around until the next hot seat coaching call to figure out an answer. I don't have to hop into a course to give me some kind of secret strategy to get me to my next step, because I actually know my next step is going to come from within me. My next step is going to be best when I am learning how to deeply connect to and listen to my intuition and my higher self. Now, I also know that for type A women, it is difficult to listen or to maybe deeply connect to your higher self, and there's a reason for that. Oftentimes, logic-driven type A women will think, well, maybe I'm just not intuitive. Maria, maybe I just don't have this deep woo-woo connection to my intuition and my higher self. Maybe that's just not for me. Okay, and a lot of women, even when they come into my intuition mastery program for visionary entrepreneurs, higher self awakening, they are like, I felt really called to enter this, but they don't have that deep connection to their intuition and their higher self. And at the beginning of the program, oftentimes they are still, seeing me as the quote unquote the expert, and they're asking me for, what should I do next in my business? However, through the intuition mastery program, through the quantum healing that we do, the women begin to see that I don't have the answer for them, but they do. Yes, I am a channeler. Yes, I can channel other people's guides using the Akashic Records. Yes, early on in the container, I can support women in tapping into and connecting to their higher self. However, through the transformation that happens over 90 days, women begin to remember through the quantum healing that we do that they are the intuitive channel. They can receive answers from their higher self. And guess what? Your higher self, your soul self, she is so deeply tapped into your life mission, to your soul purpose. That is why you want your higher self in the driver's seat. But early on when women come into my world, they're like, Maria, I thought maybe by joining this container, I would just get this manual and I get what to do over the next 90 days and just give me the 10 steps. However, what you don't realize is that when we heavily rely on logic and strategy and what makes sense and some prescriptive 10-step plan, as we are taking out free will, we are taking out autonomy, we are taking out choice, we are taking out your soul expression and your soul essence, and we're just relying on something that honestly AI could like pop up and be like, these are the next 10 logical steps. That's great. However, you want to be more than just an AI-driven business. Now, I'm not suggesting that anybody's going around and like asking AI. However, obviously we can use AI for a lot of various things. But at the end of the day, AI, logic, strategy, what makes the most sense is, again, it's missing out on your soul essence. It's missing out on you. Now, I've also heard from women that it can feel like intuition is like guessing. Like, Maria, I just feel like I'm guessing. I just feel like because many type A women will experience their intuition more like a trickle. You know, like you don't really know when or how. Sometimes you get some intuitive downloads. Yes, you can attest that sometimes you've gotten this inner nudge to take XYZ move in your business, to do this thing. And when you followed it, things have worked out for you. However, you don't yet have an on-demand way to deeply connect with your higher self and your soul self. You don't yet have a beautiful practice that you can use daily. And I could give you all of the exercises and different things like that. However, until you do the quantum healing, you're not going to feel deeply connected because it is your subconscious beliefs and past life and this life trauma that's what's really blocking your deep intuitive connection. Now, we will talk about that more on a different IG Live. Today, I really just want to talk about why you want to use intuition in your business, why intuition is going to give you the edge you need to take your business to the next level. Now, if you want to go deeper in, again, as I mentioned, some of these blocks, especially for type A women, to fully experiencing your intuition, I do recommend that down below you can comment secret and you can get access to my private podcast. In the private podcast, I go through in bite-sized lessons that you will get private access to. You won't find this anywhere else. It's not on Spotify, but just comment secret below and I will give you access to the private podcast and you can learn more about that. However, if you're someone like, okay, Maria, this sounds really cool, but I would love to really deeply experience this soul level connection with myself, then I'm going to recommend DM me Activate. DM me Activate so that I can invite you into a live call with me. No, you cannot currently book a one-on-one soul reading with me. However, you can hop into this live group call, this experience, the quantum business activation. And when you join me on this live call, which happens in about 2 weeks, not only will you get to experience in real time the level of wisdom that you can get for your business, for your life, from your higher self, from your soul self, because I will be doing, a group reading on the call. However, I'm going to also be going over some practices that you can use to connect to your intuition, as well as give you some clarity on your next business steps, but coming from your higher self, from your soul self. And from there, I'm super excited to invite you into Higher Self Awakening, which is my intuition mastery program, which will open again in summer. I will be sharing more about Higher Self Awakening as we get closer to doors opening for the next summer round. I am super excited to drop some of the wins that women who have come into this container feeling not fully connected to their intuition, feeling like their intuition is trickle, but they would wish that they had more like on-demand instant access to it. They leave the container life changed. And I can't wait to share some of those wins with you. All right. So if you want to learn more about some of the blocks that a lot of type A driven women will have to deeply accessing your intuition and how to unlock your intuition, comment below secret. You can get access to the private podcast. But if you are ready to get a front row seat to experience your higher self in real time and gain some wisdom and clarity, then be sure to DM me Activate. And when you DM me Activate, I will let you know how to get in and join us for this live group call happening in about 2 weeks. All right, have an awesome day.